Maxentius was the 59th Roman emperor, a figure whose brief reign during the early 4th century was marked by civil war, conflict with other claimants to the throne, and his ultimate defeat at the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. Born around 278 CE, he was the son of the powerful Roman Emperor Maximian, who had ruled jointly with Diocletian as part of the Tetrarchy, the system of governance that divided the Roman Empire into eastern and western halves. Maximian was a prominent figure who had retired, only to return to the political stage later as part of the struggles over succession. Maxentius's rise to power was a complex and contested affair. In 306 CE, his father Maximian, who had previously abdicated, tried to regain power after the death of Emperor Constantius Chlorus, father of Constantine the Great. Maxentius, though never formally declared emperor by the Senate or the military, claimed imperial status in Rome, capitalizing on his father's influence and the discontent of the Roman populace. Despite not having a strong claim to the imperial throne, Maxentius managed to secure his position in Rome, marking the beginning of his rule. His actions were not universally accepted across the empire, and there were rival claimants, particularly Constantine, who controlled the western provinces, and Licinius, who governed the eastern part of the empire. Maxentius's reign was largely confined to Italy, and although he controlled the heart of the empire, his power was relatively isolated. His control of Rome itself, however, made him a significant figure in the political landscape of the time. The emperor's rule was defined by attempts to consolidate his power and bolster his legitimacy. Maxentius sought to assert his authority by promoting public works projects, which included major building initiatives like the construction of the Basilica of Maxentius in the Roman Forum. Despite these efforts, his rule was consistently challenged by the rising power of Constantine, who had been declared emperor by his own troops after the death of Constantius. The major turning point in Maxentius's reign occurred in 312 CE, when Constantine, having solidified his hold over the western part of the empire, marched toward Rome. Constantine's forces, strengthened by a diverse coalition and the support of significant military figures, met Maxentius's army at the Battle of the Milvian Bridge on October 28, 312. According to legend, Constantine, who had converted to Christianity, saw a vision of the Christian symbol, the Chi-Rho, in the sky, along with the words, "In this sign you will conquer." Inspired by this vision, Constantine's army defeated Maxentius in a decisive battle, and Maxentius was subsequently killed during the retreat. The exact details of his death are somewhat unclear, but it is commonly believed that he drowned in the Tiber River while attempting to escape the battle. Maxentius's death marked the end of his brief and tumultuous reign, and Constantine emerged as the sole ruler of the Western Empire. Constantine's victory at the Milvian Bridge had significant consequences for the Roman Empire. It solidified his position as the dominant power in the West, and he went on to become the sole emperor of the entire Roman Empire after defeating Licinius in a series of civil wars. Furthermore, Constantine's victory was followed by a series of policies that favored Christianity, including the Edict of Milan in 313 CE, which legalized Christianity and effectively ended the era of state-sponsored persecution of Christians. In retrospect, Maxentius is often viewed as a somewhat ineffectual ruler who failed to consolidate enough support to effectively compete with the more ambitious and capable Constantine. While his reign was relatively short and ultimately unsuccessful, Maxentius's time in power highlights the instability and fragmentation of the Roman Empire during the early 4th century, a period of intense power struggles and shifting alliances. His legacy is overshadowed by the dramatic rise of Constantine, whose reign ushered in significant changes, including the eventual transformation of the Roman Empire into a Christian-dominated state. Although Maxentius's reign was brief, his legacy lived on through the cultural and architectural contributions he made during his time as emperor, particularly in Rome, and through the larger context of the political struggles that defined the era. However, the memory of his reign was largely eclipsed by the success of Constantine, whose eventual conversion to Christianity and adoption of policies that reshaped the empire would ensure his place in history as one of Rome's most transformative emperors.